is soccer night in Madison. Forward Madison and Orlando City B, a USL League One matchup here from Breese Stevens Field in Madison, Wisconsin. A beautiful night for soccer here in USL League One. I'm Josh Eastern here on ESPN+. These two teams have matched up 2 times before, both in Orlando, and this is the first matchup between these two sides in Madison, Wisconsin, while Orlando will be under new head coach Roberto Cibaja tonight. He was named the interim coach on Thursday following the departure of Fernando. So as we get into this matchup tonight, 2 players to watch on either side. We'll start with Oliver White, the Memphis 901 FC loanee. He came into the side on July 1st, and he came out with a bang. This was a header in his first game for Forward Madison. That was the second goal for Forward Madison in their win at Tormenta. He also had an incredible assist. Here it was against Lansing to spring-free Don Smart. Daryl Shore says he can play as a 9 or a winger. He is listed as the number 9 player tonight for Forward Madison, so look for him at the top of the formation for the Mingos. On the other side, Thiago Souza, he is the leading goal scorer, and he got on the score sheet for the first time since June 12th with this goal. Just kind of flicked it on from a free kick. That was against Tormenta on Wednesday. He also scored against Forward Madison in their previous matchup earlier in the season in June. That was quite a strike there, beating Brian Silvestre into the upper right-hand corner. He has 3 penalty kick goals, and if they go to the spot, he is the one with the cool head that can put it in the back of the net if Orlando need a goal. So those 2 attackers, 2 players to watch, as these 2 teams, they have split both matchups. Both of them were 2-1. Who can prevail tonight in Madison? Lineups and first kick on the other side here on ESPN+. Getting ready for first kick in Madison, and this is the jersey you will see on Dane St. Clair, the starting goalkeeper for Forward Madison tonight. You can order it on the Flamboyance online site. You can get there by that link right there on the screen. And here it is in action for Forward Madison. How good does that look? Dane St. Clair in all pink. Forward Madison always big on social media, and they tweeted it out this morning. Fans can buy it. Dane St. Clair is wearing it here tonight. So that is very exciting news for Forward Madison and their fans, and everybody watching here tonight gets to see Dane St. Clair in that lovely all-pink jersey. So now let's get to the starting lineups for both of these sides. We'll start with Forward Madison. 2 changes, both on the front line, as Oliver White comes in to the side and Don Smart as well. And Paolo Jr. will be up there as well. That is 2 changes from their last matchup in USL League One action against Chattanooga 2 weeks ago. They had a week off. We'll get more into what went on during that week during the broadcast. But this is the 11, Dane St. Clair in goal once again for Forward Madison. On the other side, the first 11 for Roberto Cibaja, the interim coach. He made 4 changes to the side from Wednesday's 4-1 loss against Tormenta, and Souza is not in the lineup tonight. He was not on the bench either, so they will be looking to other men to put the ball in the back of the net for Orlando City B tonight. Roberto Cibaja, his first match in charge for Orlando City B on the road. And here are the standings as we come into tonight. Tucson got an early goal against Chattanooga, so that is something to keep an eye on. Also on ESPN Plus tonight, Tormenta and Lansing also getting going in just a few moments as well. 2 versus 3. And if you look at Forward Madison, 19 points right now. A win would be absolutely crucial, and you might even say it could be a must-win type scenario for Forward Madison. 12 matches left. I feel like they have to get points in all 12 of them if they want a chance at the playoffs. So much congestion right around that playoff line. All of a sudden now Richmond getting into the playoff picture with their 3 points yesterday at Toronto. So you never know what's going to happen down the stretch, but it should be a fun ride as we get into August here. Cannot believe that, next weekend here in this inaugural USL League One season. There is Forward Madison in their blue home kits, and there is Orlando City B in their road whites. The referee tonight is Laura Rodriguez, and it is just an absolute beautiful night for soccer. You can see the shadows with the sun, temperatures in the low 80s. You cannot ask for a better night, and you always know it's going to be a great atmosphere in Madison, Wisconsin. The first trip to Madison for Orlando City B. Just awaiting Laura Rodriguez's whistle. She blows her whistle. We're underway here from Breese Stevens Field in Madison, Wisconsin. It is Forward Madison and Orlando City B on this Saturday night in July. A beautiful night at Breese Stevens Field. Forward Madison coming off a 1-1 draw with Chattanooga. When talking with Daryl Shore this week, they had an off week after that Chattanooga match, which he said his team was maybe a little bit unlucky with some calls that went the wrong way, but that's just soccer for you. But on the week off, they played a friendly against a team from Mexico. Then Daryl Shore gave him 4 days off. He wanted plenty of rest and rejuvenation, but he says the training has been good and getting going back into this final stretch of the season. He says every game feels like a playoff game at this point, that the playoffs really start today in earnest for Forward Madison. As Orlando has a chance here in the attacking third, a cross into the box and a header, and that goes high over the bar. So Orlando City B coming forward very early on in this match. We saw Chattanooga score a very early goal in their matchup. Tucson score a very early goal in their matchup with Chattanooga tonight. And Orlando City B maybe wanting to get in on that. But when talking about Orlando City B, the big storyline this week is a new coach in charge, Roberto Cibaja. Coming in, he was the U19 coach for Orlando City B before taking over just on Thursday. It's a very short week for Orlando, obviously playing on Wednesday and then having to travel up to Madison. So Cibaja gets named on Thursday, gets on a plane Friday, arrives here in Madison. And we were able to send some questions to him, and he said when looking at this job, he says he arrived to Orlando City not too long ago. There have been a lot of positive changes at the club, and the team is looking positive, and he's really just trying to create a good environment and saying that we cannot fix the past, so we have to reflect on what happened and look ahead to make a change to see what will impact here in the near future, and can really only look forward for Orlando City B at this point. They sit bottom of the table now, but they're trying to get things going here at the end of the season. Just about 9 games left for them. They're trying to end on a high note, and it starts here tonight in Madison. There's Wilfred Williams knocking it out of play, and a throw-in coming now for Forward Madison. Right, Omsberg on the ball, the Minnesota United loanee. Switch of the field into the box for Forward Madison. and he just misses high. Oh, what a chance there. Paolo Jr. got on the end of that long diagonal ball from Wyatt Omsberg. He had plenty of room to work, just could not put his shot on target. As we take another look at it, a long switch of play, great touch to bring it down. He just couldn't keep it down. Christian Herrera in goal has made 20 saves this year. He also stands at 6'7" out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. That's a big frame in goal to try to get it by. Paolo Jr. couldn't do it on that occasion, so both teams already have had some good chances early on in this match. Each one chance aside. As they look to build into this match, these two teams have the second and third most shots in the league coming into today. Forward Madison in third with 216. Orlando City B with 220. Madison just has that one clean sheet on the season, and that was a big talking point when talking with Daryl Shore this week and saying we really want to get a clean sheet. That's a big focus coming into this match here tonight. The goal differential for Forward Madison coming into tonight is 0. For Orlando, it's -17. Also not afraid of yellow cards at 45 so far this season to Madison's 31. Could get a little chippy. Both these teams have already played twice this season. Here's Oliver White, and a save there by Herrera. So he's protecting the 5-hole right there, but already two good chances for Forward Madison there on that in that left channel. Here's another look at that shot. Herrera was there. Don Smart had plenty of room. He was asking for it. White could not find him on that occasion. Big focus for Daryl Shore this week was to get a good start and maybe even get an early goal in that clean sheet, as I mentioned a moment ago, but they need to be tuned in on set pieces and defending. I think a clean sheet for Forward Madison would go a long way. They've been close a few times already this season, especially that game against Tucson, where basically the last touch of the game was a goal for Tucson back in mid-June. They let that one get away a little bit, but still that was a 2-1 win for Daryl Shore's side and could prove to be 3 big points. But Forward Madison comes in at 5-7-4, 19 points on the season. If they want to get into that playoff conversation even more, they really need to find some points here tonight, and most likely 3 after they let 3 slip away 2 weeks ago against Chattanooga. Now here's Osei-Wusu getting into the box. It's cut out by Eric Leonard. Maybe a chance for Forward Madison to counter. This game has been very open early on. So see Oliver White there, number 20, doing a lot of chasing at the top of this formation. A few Minnesota United loanees in the side tonight as well for Forward Madison, and Wyatt Omsberg, Dane St. Clair, Carter Manley as well. Ali Hamas and Ganzi is on the bench. Mason Toye was part of that group, but he decided to go on a goal-scoring tear in MLS for Minnesota United, and so he will stay up with the MLS squad as long as they need him and as long as he's scoring goals. As Carter Manley clears it out of play. Madison coming in with 19 points. Orlando City B with 13 points. They have to track down a new ball, as right behind our camera position is East Washington. That'll actually lead you right up to the state capitol building in Madison, Wisconsin. And a few times this season the ball has gone into the street, and that was another one of those occasions. Interesting to see how Orlando City B kind of adapts to their new head man, Roberto Cibaja. He says he's watched the last couple of matches, and I'm sure he went back and watched some more film as well, but he's just trying to learn this team really with just 2 days before this match from when he was named head coach. And it's a quick turnaround for Orlando. Nonetheless, just playing a midweek match is tough, and then going on the road makes it a little bit tougher, especially to this atmosphere in Madison that Orlando has not seen so far this season. There's Josiel Nunez, now for Paolo Jr. The attack building for forward Madison. It goes out of play, and it will be a goal kick upcoming for Orlando City B. The ref pointed to the goal kick spot. What are we going to get? Looks like actually a corner. Some miscommunication. There's a look at Roberto Cibaja, who's the coach of the Orlando City B U19 side. He's his USSF A license. And it will be a corner kick. Here is Don Smart standing over it to take. It will be an in-swinger. High looping ball into the middle. Omsberg was there, an open header. He couldn't direct it on frame. It was out of play for a goal kick. Herrera's asking about something or talking to his teammate as we take another look at this. A high looping ball. Omsberg was there. He just couldn't keep it down. And he had plenty of room to work there right in the middle of the box. He might have even been able to take that down and done a touch, but you're not really thinking about that on a corner kick. Loose ball there right in the middle of the pitch. And Herrera will go down to 2 knees to make that save. About 10 minutes gone here in Madison. Madison coming into tonight in 8th place, Orlando City B in 10th. Madison looking to get all 3 points here tonight and get themselves back into that playoff picture. Orlando tries to play through the middle here. Simas and Silva, the two defenders here tonight that have, seems like, been mainstays in this lineup, especially in that back line for Orlando City B. There's a look at Daryl Shore, the first-year man for forward Madison. Always good to talk with him before these matchups. Shed a lot of light on what is going on with his side, and how they are basically treating the rest of this season like it's the playoffs, because they've got to start getting wins as this season goes along and gets into August. That fight for the playoffs. But on the flip side, for Orlando City B, we saw it yesterday with Richmond getting a 2-1 win in Toronto, and it was a very shocking 2-1 win at that. Toronto had not lost at home yet. Team second from the bottom went up north, got a big 3 points, and Orlando may be trying to replicate that here tonight in Madison. So Connor Tobin wearing the captain's armband tonight for forward Madison, as he normally does. Carter Manley now. Here's Josiel Nunez, gets by Amer. Now gets it wide, Oliver White's in the middle. Here's Don Smart. Chips it forward towards the back post. Paolo Jr. was there. Plenty of room to work once again. But another occasion where forward Madison not able to direct a header on frame. Had a few good chances here early in this match. A beautiful chip right across the box there from Don Smart, but Paolo Jr. unable to keep it down. You have to like that if you're forward Madison. Daryl Shore said he wanted a fast start, and I think that's what he's gotten from his side. But a few chances have gone awry for the Mingos so far. You see this formation adapt a little bit for forward Madison. They started off in that 4-3-3, 4-1-4-1 formation, if you will, and switch that up into a 4-4-2 if they'd like at times as well. Josiel Nunez now loses possession in the middle. That's Dioff. to Silva now. Here's Williams. Orlando trying to play out of the back. There's a foul on Oliver White. It's White talking with Silva there. A fair call from the referee, Laura Rodriguez. So Orlando was trying to play out of the back on that occasion. Let's see what Orlando can do in the attack. Here's Simas. Dioff. Now Wilfred Williams here on the near side. Trying to get it to Rafael Santos. His 2 goals so far this season. Very dangerous from a set piece opportunity, as we saw in Orlando's matchup against Tucson earlier this season. Comes forward Madison, trying to spark an attack. Don Smart on the ball. Finds J.C. Banks. For Josiel Nunez, has his shot blocked. Carter Manley's able to retrieve it and prevent a counterattack opportunity for Orlando. Orlando, a team full of young players. They like to get out and run quite a bit. A team on the break, they can be very dangerous, as Forward Madison knows. A 2-1 win. It was actually their first win in club history down in Orlando earlier this season. That was in April, and then another trip to Madison saw Orlando City B come away with a 2-1 win. That was when Madison was really scuffling there in the beginning of June and at the end of May as well. They were battling some fixture congestion with the U.S. Open Cup. And some other friendlies in there as well, but Darryl Shore would be the first to say, we do not make excuses, and that's the reasoning that he has for those matches, but they're trying to get back on track, and as I mentioned, treating these matches like they are playoff matches. We've heard from some coaches around the league, once you can get into that top 4, or if you can get into that top 4, really anything can happen. We saw that yesterday with 2 road wins against home teams that had yet to lose on their home pitch. Getting some of the highlights of those at halftime, but that's why they play the game any given day for all of these sides. Zantes Dioff switches the field. Jose Wusu being hounded by Carter Manley. Wise decision to play it back for Jordan Hill, the Davidson College grad. Jose Wusu now. Deflected out of play for a Forward Madison throw-in. Fans Select is the official ball supplier of USL League One and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Heads that ball out of play, and Stevens Field might be running out of soccer balls soon if they keep clearing them onto the street. possession stats here very early. 60% possession for Orlando City B. It's Forward Madison who have had the better chances early on. This ball goes all the way through to Christian Herrera. Herrera, very interesting, out of New Mexico. He's played for Swope Park, Portland Timbers too as well, but he's also played for both the U.S. U18 and U20 national teams, along with the Mexican U18 and U20 national teams. So it's always something to watch, and you see that more and more these days. Players getting to choose or having to choose who they want to represent at the national team level. It's all the way into the corner. Goes out of play, will be a throw-in coming now for Orlando. Leonardo Simas. Brazilian talent. This Orlando City B side, a lot of young Brazilian talent. Going up against the one Brazilian for Forward Madison, Paulo Jr. out of Teresina, Brazil. Take a look at some scores from around the league. 4-1 for Tormenta against Orlando on the road on Wednesday. Then, talked about earlier, Richmond getting that big 2-1 win over Toronto. First home loss for Toronto, and the first home loss for North Texas as well. A 4-0 thumping by Greenville Triumph. Looks like Antes Diop goes down. Will be a free kick coming. He's asking for a yellow card. That will not come. And then a 1-0 advantage for Lansing Ignite on the road at Tormenta. Rafa Minsigan getting the goal for Lansing Ignite, and that was a matchup where those two teams played back in May to a 0-0 draw in Statesboro, Georgia. So we take another look at this foul. Smart just caught the boot there of Antes Diop, wearing the captain's armband tonight. That Lansing Tormenta game, very, very important, as Lansing has played 19 matches along with Orlando. Those are the most matches played in USL League One this season, but most teams have played either 15, 16, or 17 matches, 16 being the least. For Madison, this being their 17th match, it's played ahead, and it's headed out there by Wyatt Omsberg. Cinemer. Here's Williams now. Trying to find Mbu, and it's the first time we've called Dane St. Clair's name in that bright pink goalkeeper kit, making its debut here tonight. As Oliver White gets tangled up and goes down, but it will be a foul on White. Looks like it was Silva who goes down. Physical here early on. And a talking to from Laura Rodriguez. The possession keeps mounting for Orlando, and you can take possession, or I guess however you want to take it. It's kind of what you do with that possession that makes it so important. But Darren Shore said we need to be on the front foot in this match, and saying Orlando has players who can make some plays, even though they're missing Serginho due to yellow card accumulation. Still plenty of good players on this side for Orlando City B. And Thiago Souza not in the lineup tonight, but he's the team leader in goals with 5. Cleared back downfield and headed all the way back to Herrera. as Diouf goes down once again. And that holding midfield role tonight for Orlando. Seems like it's always a spot where you have to make some big challenges, get out of tight areas, and ran right into J.C. Banks, who was not pleased about that decision. Madison had a few chances early, a few headers that went high. Oliver White had a shot that was saved by Herrera. On the other side for Orlando, in the first minute of play, they had a header that went just high of Dane St. Clair's goal. Aside from that, these teams still building into this match. So we're midway through this first half from Breese-Stevens Field in Madison. Here's J.C. Banks now. Room to work, and Manley making a run. Here's a shot that will, on one bounce, go right into the arms of Christian Herrera. So we take another look at it. J.C. Banks willing to take it himself. You know he's capable of it. He had that shot earlier in May that would have found the back of the net if not for an incredible save by Pablo Jara that was save of the week when Tormenta was in Madison. J.C. Banks again getting out of another tight area as forward Madison looked to build another attack. Chip forward for Oliver White. A great touch to bring it into his grasp. On the turn, gets taken down in the box, and that's a penalty. Oliver White is down in the box, and Laura Rodriguez points to the spot. So a penalty upcoming for forward Madison. Going up against Matthew Silva. Just took a swipe at that leg. Really nothing Silva could do on that occasion. But now here is a big penalty upcoming for Madison. First penalty of the entire season for Orlando. They have faced 3. And Christian Herrera playing some mind games now with Don Smart. Don Smart, the team leader in goals with 6. He's looking to make it 7 with his jersey number. So here is the first penalty of the season in USL League One play for forward Madison. Don Smart against Christian Herrera. They call Don Smart the King from Kingston. And the King from Kingston misses! Wide right! Herrera went the other way, but Don Smart missed. And there's some argument now. And Herrera was getting into it with Don Smart. He was quite pleased that he missed everything. I guess you can say the mind games might have worked, but now it just makes it for a very interesting rest of this match. Here's another look at it. The hesitation, he sent him the wrong way, but Don Smart missed, and you could see Herrera right after that go right up to Don Smart and say something. Herrera not afraid to mix it up, but the first penalty of the season for forward Madison, and they are 0 for 1. Just the second time a team has missed a penalty against Orlando. They had faced 3 coming into tonight. So now 1 for 4 against Orlando, one of those being a save. But those 2 players were really getting into it, Herrera and Smart. Smart was trying to be that the heads up, the heady veteran. Well, Herrera was talking his smack, but I guess it worked in Herrera's favor. So could that be a moment we look back to later in this match, or really even later in the season? Forward Madison cannot get all 3 points here tonight. Here's Don Smart trying to spring free Oliver White. Oliver White into the area, crosses across the 6. Josiel Nunez was standing there in between the penalty spot and the top of the 6, and he was asking for it, but White couldn't find him. Orlando City Development Academy player. And when looking at when these teams have scored goals this year, between minutes 30 and 45, 45 and 60, 75 and 90, Orlando have scored 4 goals in each of those quarters of the match. As for Madison, the most goals they have scored in a quarter of the match comes in the last 15 minutes, but they've also scored 4 goals in the 15 minutes leading up to halftime. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on here as we close in on halftime. We play in the 30th minute, and a yellow card issued there to Don Smart. So the first player in the book tonight for forward Madison is Don Smart. It's been a tough few minutes now for Smart, missing the penalty and now going into the book. Looks like Smart just clipping the Orlando player on that occasion and earning himself a spot in Laura Rodriguez's book. It's cleared all the way downfield for Dane St. Clair. It's cleared all the way back to Herrera. Some pressure being applied from Don Smart. That will be a fun storyline to watch for the final hour of this match. And what happens if forward Madison scores? After Herrera was talking a lot of smack there with Don Smart, trying to get in his head right before that penalty. Now here comes forward Madison. Don Smart trying to flip it ahead, and it's cleared into the stands with some velocity behind it. Hitting that truck. Hopefully missing some fans on the way. But it will be a corner kick nonetheless for forward Madison. Don Smart will take once again the second corner of the match for forward Madison. Ian Swinger right in the middle, and it's headed in! Who will they award the goal to? It doesn't matter, because forward Madison are on the board. A 1-0 advantage to the home side. J.C. Banks is celebrating like he got it. Like this is actually being waved off. And Wyatt Omsberg coming in, if you can read his lips. Are you kidding me? No, and the fan in the background, no VAR. But Laura Rodriguez will wave this one off. It will not be a goal for forward Madison. It was a good ball in from Don Smart. It took a deflection into the back of the net. So we take another look at it. Looks like J.C. Banks was there, maybe Wyatt Omsberg. They both ran away in opposite directions. Herrera was on the ground. Banks was talking some smack, as I think the smack talk will continue, but you could see Rodriguez there, the referee, waving her arms in the air and waving that goal off. So 2 chances at goal-scoring opportunities for Forward Madison, and they are 0 for 2 so far. As J.C. Banks gets tripped up, and a yellow card issued. Looks like Atis Diop will go into the book. The 2nd yellow card of the night between these 2 sides. Don Smart and now Atis Diop. That's the point in the match where I think Laura Rodriguez has done a good job keeping control. So that's a pretty professional foul right there by Atis Diop, slowing that break. J.C. Banks obviously doesn't like it. Josiel Nunez asking for the card, and the card did come. Now a free kick opportunity for Forward Madison. Josiel Nunez standing over it. It will be a 3-man wall for Orlando City B. Takes, looking for Paolo Jr., and this one will funnel out of play. Fans follow Forward Madison, the rest of USL League One all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, the US Open Cup, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch League One live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. I'm sure Herrera is getting an earful from the flock right behind him. And a great advantage of Breese Stevens Field is how close the fans are to the field, especially behind the goals. And they are making noise the entire match. Really making for a fun atmosphere here in USL League One. Really embracing their mantra of going full Mingo, whatever that means. And a bad giveaway at the back. Dane St. Clair having to come off his line and clear it into the stands. A nervy moment there at the back. Madison has not had to do too much defending so far today. Dane St. Clair to the rescue on that occasion. Here's Diop. Shrugging off Eric Leonard, keeping possession, clipping it forward. But the flag will go up on the far side. Just about 10 minutes away from halftime. I'm sure we'll get a little stoppage time at the end with pause in play due to the penalty. Dane St. Clair puts it back into play. Christian Diaz now a quick throw in coming. Into the box for Oliver White. The whistle blows. We'll redo the throw in there on the far side. For Nunez, and now back for Diaz. Christian Diaz, a giveaway. Back by Eric Leonard. Hasn't been much in the attack tonight for Orlando, but it's been a lot of Forward Madison. Eric Leonard into the box looking for Oliver White, and he couldn't quite get on the end of that chipped ball into the 6-yard area. But it will be deflected out for another corner kick. Here's another look at it. Eric Leonard finding just a sliver of room, and White couldn't quite get on the end of it. Williams sent it out of play. No nonsense defending. Good to see another day. Last corner kick was put in, but there was a foul. Here's another one. Herrera up to it, using all of his 6'7" frame to clear it away. Now it's Luke Granitor trying to spring free a counterattack. A foul is called, and some pushing and shoving. Rodriguez will bring play back. Madison will have to wait. Augsburg now for Manley. Smart, but Silva was there first. Looking for the latest USL League One news and content? Follow at USL League One on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for exclusive access and updates. Once again, Orlando playing out of the back. With Daryl Shore this week, something he said was his team needs to be better in front of goal. I think so far in this match, they have lacked that quality in the final third and in front of goal. They have 6 shots, 2 of them on target. They had chances to score 2 goals. One was called a foul and one was a missed penalty. They've had a few other missed chances as well. Madison has had quality opportunities, able to put it in the back of the net. We've seen that happen with this side earlier this season. They were going through their tough run of form at the end of May and in the beginning of June. That was a very big talking point. So they could not finish in front of goal, how they had plenty of chances but just couldn't find the back of the net. And one of those really great chances was actually J.C. Banks against Orlando City. What do you want to call it? A scissor kick, a bicycle kick, hit off the crossbar. And I talked with Daryl Shore right after that, and he says that's just kind of how it's been going for us. But ever since that loss at Orlando City B, this team has woken up. Got a big win against Tucson, followed up with a big win against North Texas, got 1 point at Toronto. Then we're on the road, got a huge win against Tormenta. Nobody had wanted Tormenta up until that point. But last week's, excuse me, 2 weeks ago, that 1-1 draw against Chattanooga, leaving a sour taste in the mouth of forward Madison, as they feel like they let one slip away, especially at home. Felt more like a loss. Here's Atis Diop now. Switch of the field for Mbu, and he couldn't keep his footing. This will go out of play. Dane St. Clair will put it back in play with a goal kick. Here's Wyatt Augsburg now. Under some pressure from Rafael Santos. Augsburg will clear it back for his Minnesota United teammate, and on tonight, forward Madison teammate Dane St. Clair. There's Atis Diop. A little shove in the back there from Josiel Nunez. Rodriguez caught that one and whistles for a foul. Set piece upcoming now for Orlando. The first good opportunity from a free kick to put one into the box, or maybe even put one on frame. We've seen Rafael Santos score a long goal against Tucson earlier this season on a free kick. This one maybe a little bit out of his range. Let's see, Nunez just clipping the heels there of Santos. He's standing over it. Right into the middle and right at Dane St. Clair. Oliver White went down looking for a foul. St. Clair will try to spring free and attack. Herrera way off his line and will just head it out of play. Pablo Jr. looking to go quickly. Instead now it's Christian Diaz coming over for the throw-in. Closing in about 2 minutes until halftime here from Madison, Wisconsin. Beautiful night for soccer at Breese-Stevens Field. Always a great atmosphere in USL League One. Habsburg evading some pressure. Now Leonard. Defensive-minded player. Tonight playing at that holding midfield spot, but has also seen time at center back. Here's Don Smart. Ahead for J.C. Banks. Banks trying to find Oliver White. A heavy touch, and he couldn't quite keep possession. And now here comes Orlando City B. Plenty of numbers. Mbuwu going up against Habsburg. Habsburg able to clear back for Dane St. Clair. Madison able to thwart that counterattack opportunity for Orlando. They were really caught out on that occasion. Good 1v1 defending by Wyatt Habsburg, as Tresor Mbuwu could not quite find some space. He was taking that himself the whole way. Saw some fireworks in the middle of this first half with the missed penalty, and then the disallowed goal. Goes down. The substitutes there for forward Madison. The background on that shot: Danny Tenorio, Louis Bennett, Brian Beeman, among the attack-minded substitutions that Daryl Shore could turn to. Here's Carter Manley. Flips it forward. It's headed away. Now here's Don Smart. Paolo Jr. Herrera was frozen in his footsteps, but Paolo Jr. had plenty of room to let that one rip, but just went wide. You're hearing 2 minutes of stoppage time. We'll get that confirmed here in just a moment. Here's another look at that shot. Don Smart able to keep possession, and the shot was not far away. Herrera did not really have time to react to it, and there it is, 2 minutes of stoppage time here at the end of this first half. Still looking for our opening goal from Breese-Stevens Field. As Herrera puts it back into play. One back by Austin Amer. Diagonal ball here for looking for Tresor Mbuwu. Plenty of room to work. Now into the box, loses it for a moment. Going up against Carter Manley. And Manley wins it on that occasion. Madison finds something here before halftime, would really change the complexion of this match. Even changed the halftime team talk from Daryl Shore. Here's Josiel Nunez charging forward, trying to find Don Smart. It eventually falls for him. Smart into the box, Oliver White! And he just couldn't collect his thoughts on that occasion. And Herrera is down on the field, but he was able to make a big save. So we take another look at it. Don Smart had plenty of room to work. A good ball in. Oliver White, though, just couldn't control it with his left foot, and looks like maybe the knee of White collided with the head of Herrera. Oliver White doesn't think he made too hard of contact, but I think Herrera thinks otherwise. He's attended to by the trainer here just before halftime. You have to be careful with these head injuries. Giuliano Chaje is on the bench, the backup keeper. Seen plenty of action so far this season, though, as Herrera comes back to his feet. With one more kick of the ball, we might be headed to halftime anyway. So plenty of time to make sure Herrera is okay before we head to the 15-minute break. Rodriguez standing next to Herrera. We'll give him the ball, and we're through now 3 minutes, the minimum of 2. I have to say, after this first 45 plus, I don't think Christian Herrera has made too many friends here in Madison. Ready to put it back in play. We continue to play. Who knows how much longer we have left. He fought for there. Oliver White, maybe he can come away with something here. Simas now, and trapped in the corner. Clears it out of play for a throw-in. Josiel Nunez will have to move quickly here. It's flicked along into the box, an appeal for handball. And it looks like this was just outside of the area. A very important decision there from Laura Rodriguez. I guess we'll just keep this first half going. Into the 50th minute of this first half. This handball occurred as close to the box as possible without being inside. And this is a very interesting position now for forward Madison. Josiel Nunez and J.C. Banks are standing over it. A 3-man wall. We'll see what the angle is on goal, whether they want to put one into the box. Try to test Christian Herrera in goal. Here's Josiel Nunez. The wall does its job. It's cleared near the midfield stripe, and there is the whistle for halftime. We played nearly 50 minutes, but no goals between Orlando City B and forward Madison, and you have to wonder what the team talk will be for both of these sides. Orlando trying to impress their new head coach Roberto Cibaja, while forward Madison, this would be quite a result if they could not come away with all 3 points. So an important 45 minutes upcoming. We head to halftime. We'll take you around USL League One and the USL Championship as well. Halftime in Madison, no score between Orlando and Madison. Welcome back to halftime here at Breese-Stevens Field. And if you are at Breese-Stevens Field tonight, make sure to swing by the Flamboyance team store. You can pick up one of these limited edition boot mugs. They're available in the team shop at Breese-Stevens Field, a part of German Heritage Night at the field tonight. And we have focused on this earlier, but the pink jersey can be yours. Pre-order them at the online Flamboyance store. It will take 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. They got to make them at the Hummel factory, and then you can get your hands on this beautiful kit that we have seen tonight and is really, really standing out there among all of American soccer jerseys and really the world. What a great kit that you can get your hands on at the Flamboyance team store. But the home unbeatens, they have been falling down, and it started back on July 6th when forward Madison went to Tormenta. Nobody had taken a bite out of Tormenta at home until Don Smart got the scoring going for Forward Madison that night. It was a 2-1 win for the Mingos, and that could be a huge result as we come down the stretch of the season. Oliver White there with the diving header. But that was not all. That was just the start of the first of 3 going down. Yesterday, we saw 2 home unbeatens go down. We'll start in Toronto. This one of the surprising results of the entire season. Richmond, who was second to last in the league coming in against a Toronto team that had not lost at home, had really dominated at home. They were taken down, and this was part of the reason why. An own goal off of Klonowski's hands past that white line. It counts the same, and he could not believe it as he looks at his gloves. It's always the gloves' fault, fans. But Richmond was very excited about that one. Then a penalty. Joe Gallardo goes down, and he was going to go to the spot. And when he went to the spot, Klonowski, the gloves did the trick this time, but on the follow by Hughes, unable to do so. Richmond gets a massive road win, and they are now just 6 points out of a playoff spot coming into tonight. What a story for the Richmond Kickers as they try to get their season back on track, but that was not all. On a crazy Friday in USL League One, North Texas, the league leaders, trying to stretch their lead at the top to 8 games. Well, it started with a red card. Cirillo goes off, a straight red for that high boot, and then some opportunities started to come their way for Greenville Triumph. A great save there by Carlos Aviles in goal. Parries that one aside, but that was just the start of the onslaught on goal for Greenville Triumph. And here was their opener. Aaron Walker finding some space at the top of the 18, and he slots it in the bottom left-hand corner against the 10-man North Texas side. But they would just keep on coming. Look at that little hesitation move by Jake Keegan. He slots it home, his first goal on the night, and Greenville Triumph a 2-0 advantage. And really nobody saw this coming. They played to a 0-0 draw a few weeks ago on a Sunday night at Toyota Stadium. This was just unfortunate for Callum Montgomery. Right off the Greenville player, and then it's Keegan who slots home his brace to make it 3-0 to Greenville Triumph. And what a road win this was for Greenville as they try to get themselves in position for a playoff spot. And then the penalty. They gave up their first penalty of the season. Robinson slots it home. And that finished off a 4-0 win for Greenville Triumph, a club record in goals here in USL League One in their first season. A big night in Texas as we take a look at these teams who have gone down at home. It took Tormenta 13 games to lose at home, but for Toronto and North Texas, it was 17 games before they lost at home. 8 games for Toronto, 10 for North Texas. And Chattanooga, well, could they be the last one to go down? They are still unbeaten at home. They're playing Tucson right now. And boy, that could be a very big result for whoever can come away with that game with some points. Now let's take a look at New Mexico United in their inaugural USL Championship season.
It's Freighter! What a hit! Crossing in, it's a goal! Keeps it better knocked away myself. Omar Salgado, the hometown hero.
Streaking run from Josh Suggs.
The cross keeps the winner! Another brace! More!
There's so much pride in this state. There's, I think, been so much pent-up demand in people who have just been looking for a way to shine and come through, and they're so capable. Some of the best people in the world live in New Mexico.
This idea was sort of born from that, you know, why don't we have a section in our stadium that is devoted entirely to the underserved, the underprivileged, you know, maybe kids who would never have the opportunity to come do this, or public servants in our community, firefighters, teachers.
It's really about uniting to the community. It's really about seeing positive outcomes for people. When I see a positive outcome for someone and I see someone start to believe in themselves more and understand what their capabilities are, it makes me feel so happy because I think oftentimes people aren't in a situation where they're able to really fully shine. And we have, individually, we have so much inside. It's probably so much more than we're even allowed or think we can give every day. So let's create a platform that gives and encourages giving and encourages community. And I think if we do that, we can make a real change.
For example, we have the YMCA coming, so we gave 75 tickets there. There was 150 tickets went to Herman Sanchez Community Center, and then the others went to other kids in the community that really would not have this opportunity.
But by the way, if it was gone and someone else wanted to get in, we'd make it happen. It's for everybody.
So it's a way to spread goodwill in our own community to the people who need it most.
It's not just about a game anymore. New Mexico is really out there making a statement.
We wanted everybody from Albuquerque to Santa Fe to the eastern and western corners of the state, southern. You're part of this team. You're part of this family. It's a movement really more than anything else, and we want everyone to know that they're a part of it. That's what our name means, United.
New Mexico United, really a great story in the USL Championship, but here in USL League One, a change for Orlando City B, as we mentioned throughout the broadcast. Roberto C. Baja, now the interim manager. And then there was one. Chattanooga Red Wolves coming away with a 1-1 draw tonight, and they will extend their home unbeaten streak, and they are now the last home unbeaten side in USL League One. While Devin Jamga had a brace in Greenville, and he is your USL League One Player of the Week, along with 3 other of his Tucson teammates. A couple of North Texas players as well on there, along with 2 Toronto FC 2 players. The goals leaders in USL League One, Ronaldo Demis and Ricardo Pepi, still holding those top 2 spots. As Jake Keegan now into a tie for second place, a 4-way tie for second place after his brace yesterday against North Texas. And the goals against leaders, Mangles did give up a goal today, but aside from that, it's still Hara and Dallas J now basically tied with .765 goals against average, and they are fighting for the Golden Glove. And here is the scoreboard. It's still 1-0 to Lansing United. That game now at halftime. Chattanooga and FC Tucson now final at 1-1. Here is the upcoming schedule. Another busy week. 6 matches in USL League One play. We'll get you started on Wednesday. Toronto FC 2 and Forward Madison. While Lansing will host Chattanooga before a full slate of games, 4 of them on Saturday. Here is the updated scoreboard now. Chattanooga 1-1 with FC Tucson tonight. Eamon Zayed cancels out the opener from Kyle Venter in the 69th minute. While Lansing Ignite and Rafa Minsingen have a 1-0 advantage over Tormenta. Highlights and stats are next. We'll take one more break here at halftime in Madison. back here at halftime in Madison. No score between forward Madison and Orlando City B. An exciting 45 minutes on tap in the second 45. Let's go back and look at the first 45 minutes. The highlights, they are brought to you by Metro Family of Vehicles. And it got started very early on. Forward Madison was really coming forward. Funny how that works out. Paolo Jr. just a little bit high on that occasion. A long ball over the top from Wyatt Omsberg, but Paolo Jr. a big miss there. And then they would just keep on coming. Forward Madison would. Don Smart on this occasion clipping it forward to the back post. Paolo Jr. again has a header go high, but really a nifty clip there by Don Smart to find his teammate Paolo Jr. And then it was J.C. Banks, a long shot. Christian Herrera was there to it, and Christian Herrera, a name to remember here in these highlights, and we'll get to that in a moment, but here was the penalty. Matthew Silva going in on a tackle of Oliver White. Pretty easy call for referee Laura Rodriguez, taking out, I guess you could say, both legs there of Oliver White. And then it was Christian Herrera trying to get in the head of Don Smart, and unlucky for forward Madison, it worked for Christian Herrera as that one went wide. He was still talking as he was standing on the line, and then he went up and talked to him after. And then here was another really good opportunity for forward Madison. It gets flipped into the back of the net. I don't know if it was Omsberg or Banks, but it doesn't matter because it was called off. Herrera went down. Goalie interference, I believe, was the call, but J.C. Banks still had some words for Herrera, and I'm sure that will continue into the second half. So here are the match stats. The possession in favor of Orlando City B, but that is about it. Everything else has been for forward Madison. Just one shot. I feel like we haven't called Dane St. Clair's name, even though he's wearing that new jersey. We haven't really seen him a whole lot. I think if you ask forward Madison, they are okay with that. But here we go, the second 45 minutes underway from Breese Stevens Field. Can Orlando come away with a surprise result on the road? Or can forward Madison find that ever-elusive goal that would put them back into the playoff picture? But a loss here tonight would really be detrimental to what they are trying to do in these final 12 matches of the season and get into the playoffs. Daryl Shore, the coach of forward Madison, wanted a quick start from his side. He got that, but didn't get the early goal. So that's what they're looking for here in this second half, and I'm sure it was a spirited team talk there at halftime. But on the other side for Roberto Cibaja, just his third day in charge of this Orlando City B side after taking over in the interim role after Fernando parted ways with Orlando City B the other day on Thursday. It'll be interesting to see how they approach this second half, whether they really just try to bunker in and try for a road point, or whether they really try to open things up and go for all 3 points. They come in with the third most shots in USL League One, excuse me, the second most shots in USL League One, Madison being the third. I guess they have now switched spots now with Madison having 9 shots to Orlando's 1. So still all to play for here in this second half. Both matchups between these two sides in Orlando were 2-1 wins for both sides. They each got a win against each other in the previous 2 matchups, and Orlando has just 1 road point this season. And that was a 2-2 draw at Keno Sports Complex against FC Tucson. Aside from that, they have not gotten a win. It's a player down behind the play. Looks like that's Leonardo Simas. He's helped back to his feet by Josiel Nunez. There's no foul called, so it looks like it will be a throw-in coming for forward Madison. Here's another look at it. Christian Diaz just catching, like, the right ankle. So now the trainer comes on, and Simas will have to come off to the near touchline. Nunez now. Here's Connor Tobin. Back for Nunez. They look to build another attack. Paolo Jr. now for Eric Leonard. Looks like the sun has gone behind the trees. There in the distance. Setting over the lakes in Madison, Wisconsin. Stevens Field basically right in the middle of the two lakes in Madison, Wisconsin. It's a thin strip of land. That is where Stevens Field sits. So all the way back to Herrera, and he's able to come away with it. Trying to spring free in attack, but it's won back by the Flamingos. Ball over the top, looking for Paolo Jr. Herrera off his line, able to head it away, but only as far as Josiel Nunez. Here comes Nunez. It's cleared away by Wilfred Williams. Member of the Liberia national team is Wilfred Williams. To watch as we get into this second half, and especially in the late goings. That's where Forward Madison scored the most amount of their goals. Here's Don Smart now in the box. The flag was up there on the far side. Orlando has given up 10 goals in the final 15 minutes plus stoppage time. There's Daryl Shore. Something to watch. While Madison has scored 6 goals in the final 15 minutes, the most out of any quarter of an hour in this match. So that is something to watch. This final 15, unless either of these teams can find an opening goal before that. I think Laura Rodriguez had enough of the time wasting as Herrera puts it back into play. Simas. Switch of the play, but it's headed back now for Dane St. Clair. A couple of subs preparing there on the far touchline. We'll get to that in a moment. As Carter Manley coming forward. Carter Manley across. But it's Christian Herrera who's there to it once again. Very good in between the pipes. Him and Giuliano Chaje have kind of been on a rotation here as of late. Those have been the two in goal for Orlando City B so far this season. City B without Serginho. Which means they're missing a goal and 4 assists. Leading assist man. Here's Leonardo Simas. A left-footed shot is blocked by Tobin. Matis Diop gets on it. Orlando able to keep possession at least for the meantime before it's taken away. Connor Tobin charging forward. And now here's Paolo Jr. Numbers for Forward Madison. Slipped inside for Don Smart. It was Hill who went to ground. Smart is down in the box. What is Forward Madison going to do here? They had numbers. Don Smart is still down. They keep playing. It looks like they might. Something to watch there as Don Smart is still down on the pitch. But a big match for both of these sides. Forward Madison still looking for that elusive opening goal, while Orlando City B, well, they're also looking for that opening goal, but it'll be very interesting to see how this second half plays out. And you got to love that little fan. So here was Don Smart on that tackle from Hill. Boy, that was very, very interesting on that occasion. We've already seen one penalty called tonight, and that easily could have been another one, but here is a substitution coming for Orlando City B. Luke Granitor will be coming off. Will be Steven Hernandez coming on. Moises Tablante is also waiting to come on as well. Looks like that's Tresor Mbuu coming off. So Tablante on for Mbuu, and Steven Hernandez on for Luke Granitor. Pretty much like for like substitutions. Some fresh legs though. So Moises Tablante has 2 goals this season. The Orlando City Development Academy player. That's somebody Roberto Cibaja said, well, not Tablante specifically, but those Development Academy players that he is a little bit more familiar with just because of his time coaching that U19 team. Tablante out of Valencia, Venezuela, while Steven Hernandez out of Port Chester, New York. 15 appearances for the American International College. 3 goals, had 2 assists. Doesn't have any goals or assists so far this season, but going to make an impact here in the final 35 minutes. Seeing what the substitutions will be from forward Madison. Danny Tenorio, Ali Hamasinganzi, Jiro Barriga Toyama, Brian Beeman. All attack-minded substitutions on the bench tonight for forward Madison. John Russell and Louis Bennett as well. Plenty of good options to choose from for Daryl Shore, but it's how those players could potentially impact the game that we'll have to keep in mind. Long diagonal ball again. We've seen that numerous times tonight. Here's Christian Diaz. Don Smart looking to find some space. Now inside, J.C. Banks. J.C. Banks gets around Herrera. It's the opening goal for forward Madison. And he goes right up to Herrera as there is the elusive opening goal for the Flamingos tonight at Breese Stevens Field. Could see that one meant just a little bit more for J.C. Banks. And that is a huge weight lifted off of the shoulders of forward Madison. Here it was again, great build-up play. A good diagonal run from J.C. Banks, and he's able to slot it home past the big frame of Christian Herrera, standing at 6'7", encouraging his teammates, saying we still need some more. But forward Madison have struck first, and when they have done that, they are 3-0-1 this season when scoring first. The flock loves it. Orlando, when they concede first, they are 0-10-1. 4th goal on the season for J.C. Banks comes in the 57th minute tonight. And boy, was that a big goal for forward Madison. But now, they need that clean sheet. Daryl Shore says we need to score some goals. They have done that now, or at least they've scored 1. And here's Josiel Nunez, the shot blocked and cleared away by Williams. But the second piece to it now for forward Madison is getting that clean sheet. The only other clean sheet they have this season came in a blizzard right here at Breese Stevens Field back in April. 0-0 draw on April 27th against Greenville Triumph. Those two teams still have some matchups to play this season. It's cleared downfield. Here's Herrera. Here's that number 3, 0-1 when scoring first. Yet to lose. Here's Paolo Jr. now. Does Madison want more? A low ball driven across the top of the 18-yard box and out of play. So it will stay in the confines. Bree Stevens Field. And there's the stat for Orlando. 0-10-1. They concede first. It's been tough going. Here's Josiel Nunez now. Wusu. Now Rafael Santos. It's thumped back towards Herrera. Here by Eric Leonard. J.C. Banks wins it back. Now here's Nunez. To find Paolo Jr. unable to do so. Tablante getting some of his first touches, being brought in as a substitute just a few moments ago, and along with Steven Hernandez, first two men called upon by interim coach Roberto Cibaja in his first match in charge. Here's Tablante, room into the box, couldn't quite gain control. To his left foot, might have taken a deflection, but it's cleared away now. Tablante does have 2 goals to his name this season. Orlando City missing their leading goal scorer in Thiago Souza, who we featured in the pregame. 5 goals and an assist for Souza. He scored his first goal since June 12th on Wednesday against Tormenta. He was left home. Into the final 30 minutes here at Bree Stevens Field. Madison getting on the score sheet. J.C. Banks in the 57th minute. Gaining some time in the attacking third here ever since, though. Now here's J.C. Banks. Paolo Jr. with plenty of room to run. Overlap there from Nunez. Switch of the field for Don Smart. He skies it out of play. A goal kick coming now for Orlando. Herrera will put this back into play very quickly, looking for Moises Tablante. Silva, now for Santos. Big playmakers for this Orlando side. Number 10, Rafael Santos, 2 goals. Switch of the field, looking for Tablante. It's won back by Madison. Over White now. Madison now looking to gain some time on the ball. Still 28 minutes plus stoppage time to go for Madison to see this one out. 3 points would be absolutely vital for forward Madison. Midweek tilt with Toronto coming up on Wednesday for forward Madison as a whistle blows before they return back home next Saturday to face FC Tucson once again. Second match against FC Tucson. And for Orlando, a trip to Cooley Law School Stadium next Saturday to face Lansing Ignite. These two teams, the last time they will see each other this season, I guess you could say the rubber match between these two sides. 2-1 win for Orlando back in June, and a 2-1 win for Madison back in April, both at Mount Verde. Fans of the USL unveil its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest levels across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Smart down the right flank for Carter Manley. Manley over everybody and out of play for a throw-in. Throw in here from Orlando City B. Come again after it is headed out of play by Eric Leonard. Smart and Atas Diop going in after it. It's one back here. It's Wilfred Williams. Sewusu now. He gets tripped up and a whistle does blow. Shore displeased with it. Let's put it back in play quickly. Switch to the field now for Moises Tablante. He's able to take this one down. Gets by Diaz, across into the box, chested away by the captain, Connor Tobin. A corner upcoming for Orlando City B. First corner kick of the match for Orlando. And don't normally take them into the box, but new head man. Don't know how things might change, even though he said most things will stay similar as he's just trying to get the most out of these players throughout the rest of the season. Take it short. And then they'll put one in. So we'll go all the way through. Oliver White will come away with it. Memphis Loney. For Don Smart. Nifty touch to keep possession, and then a big challenge from Jordan Hill straight to the pocket for Laura Rodriguez, the yellow card for the center back from Chesapeake, Virginia. So he just went in looking to stop whatever attack Don Smart was trying to do. Don Smart asked for it, and Don Smart receives. The yellow card there for Jordan Hill. So now a chance for forward Madison. What they decide to do here, Josiel Nunez standing over it. Looks to be a three-man wall for Orlando. Nunez waiting the whistle towards the back post. Herrera off his line. He's able to knock it away. It's clipped back in and then cleared away. So Player went down for forward Madison in the box. It's a throw and one by the Mingos. We take another look at it. Herrera using all of his 6'7" frame to knock that one away. It looked like it was Eric Leonard who went down. Now here's Nunez. Christian Diaz. Now J.C. Banks. Just a little bit too far for Oliver White. He might have gotten a touch on it, but it deflected away, and it will be, looked like actually offside was called, so a moot point, but still a very good ball in by J.C. Banks. Looking for White. He might have redirected that off the post. Looks like the flag was up there on the far side. Oliver White has found himself in some dangerous situations so far tonight. He's not been able to put the ball in the back of the net. Comes in with a goal and an assist. As we featured pregame, that diving header against Tormenta in his first matchup as a forward Madison player. Him and Louis Bennett coming over from Memphis. You might see Louis Bennett here tonight. Here's Oliver White now, into the box. Oliver White, it's taken away. It was Jordan Hill who comes away with it. Looking for Leonardo Simas. That's blocked out of play by Eric Leonard. Take another look at this opportunity as Atis Diaf is charging in there, trying to throw his leg in front of any part of that ball. And a good job to clear it away. Here's Tablante. Looks like he's whistled for a handball. We're awaiting the final sub from Orlando City B. William Bagru coming on. Kobiose Wusu. Looks like his night will be over with about 20 minutes left. Orlando trying to start some sort of attack. There's Tablante. Being fought for. Wusu went to ground. It's played quickly ahead for Oliver White. Going up against Jordan Hill, who's on a yellow. Jordan Hill able to win it. Clears it only as far as Paolo Jr. His shot looking for that far post. It's back in front of goal, and Don Smart just couldn't direct it into the back of the net. Looking for Madison's second goal, but not coming on that occasion. Some great build-up play. Paolo Jr., his shot parried away by Herrera, and I don't think he knew that Don Smart was in the path of where he cleared it. Close call there for forward Madison. And Don Smart. It's put back in play. Herrera, you have to put it in the 6-yard box for a goal kick, and he didn't want to do that. Here's Josiel Nunez. Here comes Orlando, but it's cut out there by Wyatt Omsberg. Trying to get it back to Don Smart. Eventually it falls to him. Now Nunez. Little spin move. Able to keep possession, just not on the same page there. Don Smart on that occasion. Fans follow Forward Madison, the rest of USL League One all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, the US Open Cup, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch League One live every week. Sign up today at espnplus.com. So here is the substitute, William Bagru. Kobe Osewusu coming off. Moses Tablante. It's cleared away, though, by Connor Tobin. There's Tablante now, once again. It's taken away. Awaiting the first Madison sub of the night. Jiro Barriga Toyama getting set to replace Don Smart. Smart on a yellow card, so maybe Daryl Shore a little wary of that, not wanting him to pick up another yellow card and be suspended for Wednesday's tilt with Toronto in Toronto. Here's Christian Diaz now. He's flanked by Paolo Jr. Eric Leonard teeing one up, and he might have cleared, at least cleared that Madison.com rooftop. Out of play, and here comes the substitution. Looks like two subs. The first one will be Jiro Barriga Toyama replacing Don Smart. Don Smart missed that penalty. And the other substitution will be Brian Beeman coming on. He will replace Oliver White. This player is down. Looks like Wilford Williams for Orlando, while Madison takes these two substitutions. Three subs have been exhausted by Orlando City B. And Brian Beeman is the second substitution for Forward Madison. White will come off, and here is Beeman coming on. Looks like there was a stoppage because of an injured player for Orlando. So that gives Madison some time to bring on Brian Beeman. Along with Jiro Barriga Toyama, Beeman scored the lone goal in the loss to Orlando earlier this season on June the 7th. That was actually the last win for Orlando City B. They're winless in their last 8 games, 3 straight losses where they've been outscored 6-1. But now the job at hand for Madison is to see this one out. I have to say, Orlando has not been too dangerous, but here is Josiel Nunez in on goal, looking for the second goal for Madison. The back heel for Paolo Jr. And he's just wide. Boy, Paolo Jr. has had numerous chances in front of goal tonight. Has not been able to finish anything. Here was Josiel Nunez trying to get around goalkeeper Christian Herrera, and he laid it off on a nice back heel. Paolo Jr., but unable to keep it on frame. Up in the air and out of play. Throw coming for Forward Madison and Christian Diaz. Once again, a beautiful sunset off in the distance. Turning a pink sky here for Forward Madison. coming here for Paolo Jr. Right in that final 15 minutes, Ford Madison has scored 6 of their 21 goals so far this season. Here's Gio Barriga Toyama for Eric Leonard. Distributes wide now for Paolo Jr. And Nunez. Here's Carter Manley. Directed it on goal, but it was fisted away by Herrera towards the back post, looking for Paolo Jr. Still in the area. Here's Brian Beeman. Looks like a foul called against Beeman. So he's bounced around the box in there. Forward Madison still looking for that second goal. Eric Leonard now weaving through defenders. You have to like this if you're Forward Madison. Sometimes your attack can be your best defense. So they try to see this one out in the last 11 minutes plus stoppage time. Trying to probe this back line. Madison will be tough to crack here tonight. Another player down for Orlando. Now Williams back to his feet. Contest Dioff. Looking for Bagru. Slips it inside for Tablante. To the end line now. Nice play. It looks like that was Connor Tobin coming in there. Cleared away for a throw-in rather than a corner kick. Bagru, he gets tripped up. The flag goes up and it will be a free kick coming now for Orlando. A cheap foul given away there by Forward Madison. And with 10 minutes plus stoppage time left, a good opportunity on a set piece. Diaz just kind of undercut William Bagru. They're going to change the call. And it looks like it will go back to Forward Madison instead. Who's up? Who's down? Where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL League One Power Rankings only on USLLeague1.com. Dane St. Clair and his new pink goalkeeper kit puts it back in play. Here's Eric Leonard. Bagru trying to fight off Paolo Jr. And now some pushing and shoving. Eric Leonard needs to be held back. Orlando, a few weeks ago, had 2 red cards in a match against Richmond. It was Randy Mendoza and William Bagru that got those red cards. They were suspended for Wednesday's match against Tormenta. It was right around this point in the match. Was also 1-0 to the home side. Richmond on that occasion, Madison on this occasion. And now the AR and the head referee, Laura Rodriguez, have something to talk about. It will be a yellow card. Looks like to Leonardo Simas. I think Eric Leonard will probably get the other one. Eric Leonard does get the second yellow. So now the yellow card's starting to stack up a little bit. Yellow cards 4 and 5 in this match. 3 for Orlando City B and 2 for Forward Madison. And here was the incident. Bagru was trying to push Leonard away. Give Laura Rodriguez credit for stepping in there right away and trying to break that up. 2 cooler heads would prevail. As you could see Bagru just run away from the entire incident. He wanted nothing to do with that. I think he's probably learned his lesson after the red card and his suspension. The yellow cards, Leonardo Simas and Eric Leonard. I wonder if that changes the mindset for Daryl Shore. In the next few minutes, still one sub left. You have a player like Louis Bennett, who's still on the bench. John Russell as well. So those two yellow cards issued. It is a short week for forward Madison, so I'm sure we'll see some changeover in the starting 11 come Wednesday. Orlando still trying to find that opening goal and maybe get out of Madison with a point. Eric Leonard has to be careful there, but he does win the ball. They're back for Dane St. Clair. Maryland Terrapin will clear it back towards the midway line. Here's Carter Manley now, fourth throw-in. Beeman now. The goal he did score this season was in the latter stages of that match against Orlando. His assist was against FC Tucson to Paolo Jr. in what is still the quickest goal in USL League One history. FC Tucson will be in Madison next week. Still being applied by this front line of forward Madison. So they look to see this match out and get all 3 points, something that evaded them in their last home match against Chattanooga. Here's Bagru, a tackle there by Connor Tobin, and here's an opportunity upcoming for Orlando City B. Bagru goes down on the challenge by Connor Tobin. This is well in the range of Rafael Santos to give Madison something to think about. And here's a look at it again. There's Tobin coming over and clips that right ankle. A good call from Laura Rodriguez. A big moment in this match. Rafael Santos, Moises Tablante, Astis Diop standing over it. This is Santos. Santos steps up, looking for goal. A great save by Dane St. Clair. And boy, could that be the moment to get Madison towards the finish line. About 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time left, but a big opportunity for Orlando to find the equalizer. A good strike by Rafael Santos, who scored one of those this season. Can't do it on that occasion. Diaz now. Paolo Jr. takes it on. And a one-hopper right into the hands of Herrera. And Herrera is still mixing it up with these forward Madison players. Downfield, it's headed away by Tobin. Tackle there by Eric Leonard. He has to be careful on that yellow card. Take another look at the foul. Well committed there by Bagru, just trying to slow Leonard up. Here's Carter Manley. Into the box. Hernandez on the ball, he goes down. And the challenge by Beeman. Brian Beeman getting a talking to, and he gets his name in the book. A yellow card for Brian Beeman, he doesn't like it. You can see the physicality he's brought to this match since coming on for Oliver White. And a yellow card issued to Christian Herrera. And the crowd loves it. He's not afraid to speak his mind, as we saw in that penalty kick earlier. I think Rodriguez has had enough with the Orlando City B keeper. His moment earlier. He was really getting in the ear of Don Smart ahead of that penalty kick. We are approaching stoppage time here in the 90th minute. Last gasp here on the road for Orlando City B, or will it be Forward Madison getting all 3 points tonight? It doesn't really matter how you get those 3 points, it's just that you get those 3 points. Here's Nunez. Line for Bariga Toyama. He gets clipped right on the edge of the area, and it will be a free kick coming now for Forward Madison. And the stoppage time is 5 minutes here at the end of this match. And here was the foul. Steven Hernandez tracking back, going shoulder to shoulder with Bariga Toyama. He went down, and that was set piece opportunity. Josiel Nunez standing over it. A three-man wall. Take it short. They know how important these 3 points are. As they head to the corner now. Ball goes out of play, a throw in now for Orlando, as they will go as quickly as they can. Get the final substitution of the match. It will be Ali James Nganzi, another loanee from Minnesota United. He's been with Madison basically the entire season. He was on the bench for 1 game for Minnesota United. And now he gets a chance to come on here for the final few minutes against Orlando tonight. 3 subs exhausted for both sides. Looks like Rodriguez will ask Orlando to throw it in again. The third time's the charm here for Orlando City B. Wilfred Williams puts it back in play. Ali James Nganzi. Now for Paolo Jr. But it was Hill to it. James Nganzi now. As Madison just looked to take this clock down. J.C. Banks goes to the corner. Tucson finishing 1-1 tonight. And Tormenta getting a big equalizer against Lansing to at least salvage a point. very late in that match. Catch the end of it on ESPN Plus as well. A win for Tormenta would bring them within 2 points of North Texas at the top, both on 17 games played now. So these games in hand starting to catch up a little bit, aside from Lansing and Orlando, who have now played 20 matches. It's 3 more than most teams. Riga Toyama into the box, trying to find Beeman, unable to get it to him. And Orlando just trying to get out of their defensive half here. Tablante applying some pressure, and he wins it back. Gets by Diaz. And good job tracking back by Christian Diaz. Tablante wins it back. Eric Leonard didn't like it. Now Tablante goes down, and it will be a yellow card for Christian Diaz, the forward Madison left back. And this in a very similar position as to where Rafael Santos scored against Tucson. And might there be some late game magic? Tablante winning the ball back against Eric Leonard. Debatable if that was a foul, but a foul by Diaz. An easy call for Rodriguez, and also issues a yellow card, because the yellow cards have really mounted. That's now 8 in the past about 11 minutes. Excuse me, that was 5 yellow cards in the last 11 minutes. Looks like Santos will be the only one standing over it. This is his moment for Orlando City B. Trying to rip the heart out of forward Madison. Rafael Santos, and he skies it into the flock end, and that might see Madison through to the finish. And is that the final whistle? It is. It is over from Breese-Stevens Field, and forward Madison get all 3 points here tonight at home as they march towards the playoffs and get back into the thick of things in USL League One. JC Banks gets the goal on the assist from Josiel Nunez, and that sees Madison to the finish. As these 2 teams have now played 3 games against each other, and it's 2 wins for Madison in those 3 games. There's Daryl Shore. Has to be pleased with his side. It may not have gone to script, may not have been pretty, but 3 points is 3 points for forward Madison. They win it 1-0. We'll come back and wrap things up from Breese-Stevens Field. We'll get you highlights, stats, and more right after this here on ESPN Plus. But it was an exciting match. Plenty of taunting from the goalkeeper, missed penalties. But then it was JC Banks. Keeps his head, able to slot it home. We'll be right back to wrap things up from Madison right after this. An exciting night at Breese-Stevens Field in Madison, Wisconsin. The hometown team comes away with 3 points, and of course the players going over and celebrating with the flock end as we take a look at how this match transpired. Plenty of intrigue in this one tonight. Forward Madison and Orlando City B. It was Forward Madison on the front foot early. It's Don Smart trying to find Paolo Jr. there at the far post. But his header went high, and this was kind of the beginning of quite an onslaught of shots in this first few minutes, and especially in the first half. Forward Madison finishes the first half with 9 shots. There was the penalty. Silva taking out the legs of Oliver White, and then the trash talk began. Christian Herrera going right at Don Smart, and Don Smart striding up to it and sending it wide. He sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, but just couldn't put it in the back of the net. Daryl Shore unhappy with that one. And then a disallowed goal. Looked like J.C. Banks or Wyatt Omsberg got their heads to it. Doesn't matter, it was disallowed. We just thought maybe this could be a rough night for Forward Madison. And of course, J.C. Banks, some words for Herrera. That goal didn't count, but Banks would have the last laugh eventually. There was plenty of conversation with head referee Laura Rodriguez tonight. She handed out quite a few yellow cards in this match. And then in the second half, here it was, the moment for Forward Madison. Josiel Nunez slips it inside. J.C. Banks, you couldn't even see him in the screen, but he comes in, slots it by Herrera, and of course he had a few words for Herrera after that. And that was the goal that eventually saw Madison to the finish. But they would try to keep coming forward, eventually amassing 17 shots to Orlando City B's 6. Most of the possession in the first half, 54% of it was for Orlando City B in the first 45, but Forward Madison able to take control in that second half and get all 3 points. So here is the scoreboard as we are through another week here in USL League One. Tormenta getting a win over Orlando City B in the midweek, but tonight, Tormenta and Lansing drawing at 1 along with Chattanooga and FC Tucson. And then the matches we went through at halftime, those midweek matches, snapping those home streaks. And here are the standings. They are up to date. Forward Madison actually stays in 8th place, but they are just 3 points off of a playoff spot. All those teams are level on games played. It is only Lansing and Orlando City B with 20 games played. Wow, this is going to be quite a fight to the finish, and it gets going on Wednesday here on ESPN Plus. Madison paying a visit to Toronto, Chattanooga paying a visit to Lansing before 4 more matches on Saturday. North Texas going to Chattanooga. The league leaders, they've slipped up a few here in the past few weeks, and they will try to get back to it. But tonight, it belonged to the Mingos, the lone winner in USL League One play tonight, and they get a big 1-0 win over Orlando City B. That's going to do it here for tonight's broadcast. For our entire crew, I am Josh Eastern saying so long from Forward Madison, where the Flamingos come away with a 1-0 win. Good night, and thanks for watching here on ESPN Plus.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.